I want to talk about stone break-in and how do you know when a stone is broken in? This is a question that just was presented by Derek, a new member of the Wicked Edge Forum, and I want to see if I can answer some of his questions. Derek, I have nothing to do with Wicked Edge other than I am a user and an enthusiast, and I have a lot of experience over time through social media and forums and whatever. So I try to stay in the loop with the experiences and the problems that Wicked Edge users have. Your question about the inadvertent, or stray scratches. How do you know when your stones are broken in? I don't want to simplify it or make anything silly of it, but when I was a kid, we in nursery school or whatever school, we used to have paper and white glue, and we would draw shapes and color in the glue, and then sprinkle glitter and stuff all over it and move it around, trying to cover the glue and get that surface of the glitter on the paper. Well, that's essentially what these are. Not to make light of it, it is more high tech, but this is a very flat steel plate. It's somebody that I don't know the manufacturer that Wicked Edge works with, but they do use. I believe it's a stainless steel plate. I don't know. It's magnetic, so it may not be stainless, but this metal plate has sorted diamond stones to the micron that are sorted by the size, and then they are put onto this metal plate by an electroplating process. As far as I know, I'm using these words that I think are appropriate to describe it. I may be off a little bit, but I believe it's an electroplating, a nickel electroplating process that affixes the sorted, sized, abrasive diamonds that Wicked Edge uses. Now, if you'll look at a brand new stone as compared to a used stone, you can see how the used stone is more gray. The newer stone is shinier. If you feel a used stone, you can feel the abrasive, but it's smooth, whereas if you feel it on a new stone, you can feel on your fingertips the grit. Now, that grit gets worn in. I don't believe that the diamonds get worn. I believe that when they're applied, there is some bit of overfilling, and that the diamonds get out of height. They get piled on one another. Through the break-in period, I believe what we're doing is we're sloughing off with physical contact the highs and the lows, and ending up with those diamonds that are affixed to the plate at a more level area, and therefore it becomes more consistent and uniform and smoother, and the heights become more even. So the ones that stood up at the top get knocked off, and now we end up with a more even surface. And that's why with time, when our stones break in, our scratch patterns become more uniform, more consistent. That breaking in, when we use the diamond stones to break them in, they slough off a lot of that excess diamond that's piled up on top of the other diamond, and it's very dusty. So when you're using stones, new stones, they produce a lot of dust that gets all over everything. And that's not necessarily steel being removed from your knife. It's usually nickel-plated diamond dust that's all over everything. Once your stones get broken in, they have very little of that excess dust. Each grit stone that you use, whether you start with the 50, 80, or the 100, 200, each individual grit needs to be broken in. That means the surface needs to be used and worn against steel in order to knock off that excess slop, that excess steel and diamonds on the top, and get that even surface. That said, the manufacturing process is done well. I've had only maybe one stone in all my day that was a little bit of an issue, and that's what I want to talk about. Sometimes when the stones are made, there may be a place where there is a high spot. I have had that happen once, and I've read about it over the years on the Wicked Edge forum and other social media. And sometimes you have to take the stone against, this is a 1/4-inch piece of plate steel that I use because it's magnetic. You can get this at Home Depot, and sometimes the stone, you may find by using it that there is an odd high part that is adding an aberrant scratch to your bevel, and you may need to take that stone and rub it across something like this steel and knock that clump off. And sometimes it's just a little tick and it's gone, and that's the end of your problem. If you find that you have a stone that has a harsh characteristic to it that doesn't seem to match the other side, the right handle and the left handle, they don't match, you may have a stone that has a manufacturing problem, and you need to discuss that with Wicked Edge. And their warranty and their service is excellent, and they will take care of it. But most of the time, it's something that's really easily resolved, as simple as that. Now, how do you know when your stones are broken in? It's experiential. When I say that word experiential, is you have to experience it, you have to do it, you have to look, you have to feel it, and it's a thing that you'll know. You can feel the difference as you use them. And that's why the first video that I made is on the break-in period. It's important that you use that break-in period as a learning process to get a handle on these stones so that you know when they're broken in. A stone that's broken in for me may not be what you consider broken in. I've worked with a lot of stones, and I use the coarseness of a fresh stone, and I use the fineness of a broken in stone, sometimes in the same grit, in order to take advantage of the abrasiveness that I need to have for my knife sharpening job. So if you find something that doesn't work right, you may want to contact Wicked Edge, but for the most part, it's something that you need to do. Now, some people say, for the money that I'm spending, why doesn't Wicked Edge break in these stones so that I don't have to do it? Well, I don't want to go to the store and buy something that's used. I want to buy it new. I want to open it up. I want to take the fresh, and I want to use it on my stones myself. I want to break it in. I want to experience it. I want to see it. I want to feel it. That's part of the knowledge that we gain by doing this. Others of you may just want to slap a stone on the handle and use it, and may prefer stones that are broken in. I can understand it. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. It's a personal thing, and that's just how it is. I don't believe that Wicked Edge anytime soon is going to be selling pre-broken in stones. To me, that would be like starting with a used stone. Just my opinion. But anyway, I hope, Derek, that I answered your question, and I want to invite you to my Facebook group if you're interested. Thank you.